But all right. So outside of the baby, because I really wanted to use it as a segue. How do y'all feel about homophobia in the black community in general?
People, it's just weird. Like for me, like I was telling you, I'm from the South, so I can't even. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and act like I've been pro gay my whole life and things like that because I was homophobic earlier in my life. That it was drilled into me at a young age, like the joke, like, "Oh, nigga, you gay." That was funny. That was funny to people.
It's not
And
funny to you no more.
it's not funny at all to me no more. Like, cause I have gay friends and things like that, and like all the jokes and things like that. It's just funny to me. Like, people will laugh at Big Mama's house. People will laugh at Tu Wong Fu, where grown men
Medea.
yeah, Medea, grown men, things like that. They find
Go down
that
the
joke
line.
as the funniest
Right,
thing
for
in the
real.
world. But then as soon as they see it like in real life, they just like so scared
That's a
and so
great point.
afraid of it,
That's a
and
great
they
point.
get so pissed
I
off.
don't know,
and
maybe
things like that.
because people look at it as comedy versus like, oh, you serious.
Yeah, but it's like at the same time, like as long as that person literally does not sexual assault me, I don't have any problem with it. Like, who you like is who you like. I'm not fucking you with them. So what? Why
Right.
does it matter to me? Like, that's how I feel. And then a lot of black women be like, not well. Hold on, some black women. Let me not say a lot of black women because I'm not finna get
Yeah, don't
choked
get
out.
yourself canceled.
I'm not finna get choked out when I get out this door. But some. I said some 3 times. Some black women like to have gay friends, but as soon as if they found out their child was gay, would lose their mind.
I can tell you a lot.
They
Fuck that.
would lose their
A lot
mind.
of black women, that's a negative stigma. A lot of black women, I'm not one of those because I was in a relationship with a bisexual, half black man. So, and we were best friends beforehand. So clearly, I'm on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to that. I'm very much more lenient, and I'm bisexual myself. So that don't mean shit to me. I can understand why it can cause problems for insecurities. I get it. I understand where they're coming from to an extent, but that stigma where it's like, if a nigga even wants any type of what would be considered kinky or non-vanilla sex to experience certain pleasures, let's
Oh,
just
yeah.
say having his nipples touched, for example.
That's gay.
You're gay, but that's not. You're human. You have nipples like I have nipples. It feels good. Whatever.
I
it may
think
be.
playing around the crack is considered gay more than
It's
nipple
not gay
thing.
unless it's 2 men doing it together.
It's not gay unless you haven't. What he
It's a gay
said.
gesture for sure.
But that's what
A nigga that like to
But
if
at
a
the-
nigga say he like to get his
Associated
booty
with.
tickled by his girl, that is definitely some type of like
It's
That's
not
because
gay.
there's
homosexual.
certain stigmas and stereotypes that go with it. It's not normal for black people or people in general, but especially black people, to have sexual exploration, to be kinky, to be into shit that is deemed white people shit. Whether it's BDSM, whether it's dominatrix, whether it's masochism, I can go on and on because I know about the shit. But what I'm saying is, it's white people shit. That's what it's deemed as, and I've been guilty of it myself. Where I'm like, not me, but I see.
Well, I
that's
think
the
they
thing.
say it's white people spit because they felt they're whether y'all admit it or not, there has definitely been an attack on emasculating the black man
I'm not
in
saying it
entertainment culture
Sure.
I'm
to
not
where
gonna say
they
it's
purposely need to have certain comedians put on a dress or like Dave Chappelle talked about it, how they like went out of their way to try to make a scene like that for him on Blue Streak. And when he stood his ground and said, no, I'm not putting on no effing dress and acting like a prostitute, they already had the scene set up for him not to have to do that. But they went out of their way to try to do that to him.
Fair
And I
enough.
get
Kevin
that.
Hart of saying like, oh yeah, I'll never wear a dress. And then he ends up having to wear a dress on, I think it was SNL. And then this nigga turned into a superstar. So there's definitely people behind the ropes that are controlling that definitely want to make certain black men look like they're homosexual or make them look
But
feminine.
here's my problem with that is that, yeah, of course, we're black. Unfortunately, we can't do shit without it being underlining problems. We can't be entertainment. We can't be talented. We can't have any type of gift without it having some underlying advantage taken of it, right? Like from white people, exploitation of it. So my thing is that just like with everything else, they take away the fact that black people are human too. Humans with sexual desires. Sexual desires and sexuality is a spectrum. Regardless of color, race, age, region. I don't give a fuck. Human is human, and regardless, sexuality is a spectrum. So that whole thing with, I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, yeah, black people are trying to be made where it's buck breaking, whatever. There's been shit, it's historical, where we're made to be emasculated because of the threat that we put just by being naturally masculine as our people, sure. But that's the thing. We keep sucking into the negative stereotype and the conditioning that we've had, as opposed to just tuning into being your own human self, which is exploring every avenue of having a human body. Having a human, like I said, niggas feel weird about having their nipples touched. Nipples are in men and females. Nipples happen to be one of those things that have nerve endings that kind of feel good.
I've never necessarily called that gay though.
No,
I mean,
that's fair.
But I might know what
But
you
a lot of people,
alluding to.
some dudes do.
I've never
Some
looked
dudes
at
do.
that.
Some dudes can get their ass ate and not feel like it's a problem. Others, it's out, and that's to each his own.
Definitely out.
That's out.
That's you though. But like at the
And
end of the day,
you.
pure science says that the male G spot is in your ass.
It's in your ass.
I've
No
heard.
lie.
I've definitely heard.
So
that.
if you want a finger up there every once in a while to get the best orgasm you ain't had in a while, to each his own. Especially if it's with a woman, I don't care. To me,
The only thing that makes something gay is between a man and a man, or a
An
woman and a
attraction.
woman.
It's
Like,
not. I'm not saying you're gay because of the action in itself. To me, it says that you have probably some aspirations of that with a man.
Not
if you like
necessarily.
so
gay
your problem
activities
is,
like that.
or maybe not your particular problem, but it seems like a problem being in the black community is being open-minded. Period. Point blank. Period.
But we already knew that.
No, I know. But let's just speak on it again. Let's remind the folks, being open-minded is the big stigma. Like, there's a problem. Same with black females. Being a black female, I can't relate, but I've seen other black females like, oh, that nigga's gay as fuck if he wants this done. That nigga's gay. I'm a freak. So if that nigga wants that done, if I'm doing this and
I'm
we
gonna
doing
touch on
that,
that. Thank you for saying that.
I'm not calling him gay because we tuning into being human and exploring all accesses and availabilities to pleasure. The fuck? I'm allowing you to do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do what I'm willing and open to doing. Maybe might not be everything, but I'm open-mindedness. That's the disconnect.
Exactly. And then like she just said, like for example, like with women, they can figure out what they like. Like for sure, like they can go be with a woman one time and then not be gay. If you are
That's
a
a
man,
stigma.
But
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you are a man and you go
it's cute
try
when
to
girls are
find out
together.
if you are a man who likes men,
For the rest of your life.
yeah, like
that's on
you just do it one time. Like, and you don't even, it could be for 2 seconds. You be like, nah,
You just
this
made
ain't
out
it
with
for
that
me.
nigga. You didn't
Exactly.
even do nothing for
You didn't even
real,
do
like-
nothing for real. You are gay for the rest of your life
And there's
till
that
you
sad
die.
double standard too that I hate, because it's like, which we can get into this another time, but it feeds into a big one that really grinds my fucking gears. Cause motherfuckers love seeing 2 women together.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
But 2 women and a male, that's a threesome.
Mm-hmm.
2
men
niggas
and
and a girl is a train.
Oh no, she didn't.
We're not
This is
doing
true.
that. That's not the case. That is not true. It's still a threesome. 3 people. What is a fucking threesome? 3 individuals having sex. A motherfucker feels like because they got 2 dicks. Now, dicks ain't run off gold. Dicks ain't perfect. Dicks ain't all that for real. Let's be real. They're flesh
wouldn't know.
half the time. They're half useless. So when it comes down to it, niggas make it seem like, oh, we got 2 dicks in the mix, so it's just so powerful. We're running a train on that bitch. We're running that shit. No, but if it's 2 girls with 1 nigga, what makes you think it's not the girls running the train
I said
on the
the same
nigga?
thing.
But it's exactly the same thing. If you want to call it a train, let's call it what it is on both sides.
A
Dick
threesome
around.
but that would involve everybody though. So if it's not involving everybody, how is that a threesome?
3 people.
If it doesn't
interacting.
involve everybody, how is that a threesome?
So what is it if it's not a threesome?
You just said it. It's a train.
So it's just somebody having something done to them. No, that's not necessarily the case.
Usually when it's a
I find that
threesome with
being-
2 girls and a nigga, everybody's involved, including the women.
But
Everybody.
But what if the women aren't involved? Is that not a threesome anymore?
That's rare, but
But
I
that's
mean
not,
that would
but
be
see,
that
that's
would
the
be
thing.
another
That's
term
that
for
double
that.
standard where it's like you think that's a little less fathomable. Like no, say that's the case.
You don't really hear. When do you ever really hear that?
But
though?
when do you ever hear about threesomes with 2 niggas and a girl not being called a train and having that girl be empowered and not be just a slut or just a hoe or just ran through, right?
This is true.
Right.
Niggas
So let's
want
talk
freaks.
about it.
But that's the
Niggas want-
overall
They
double
want the
standard.
freaks
split.
with
But they don't want them to
No.
have any sexual experience.
No, because niggas have there's a few different things that go into it. One is the penetration aspect, because niggas feel like they got a member to penetrate they got a key to a lock, that two locks fucking with each other is less than
no,
a key
that's
and a
not
lock.
what it is.
No,
It's the
it
fact.
can be.
It's the
Some
fact
niggas,
that
no, it can be.
pussy is less accessible for men than
And
it is
some
dick
cases.
for women.
No,
But what I
That's
just
what the
said,
real.
Hold on,
That's
pause,
what the
hold on.
real
Let me
thing.
be third party in this situation. That's the facts. Y'all control on who gets the pussy.
that's
when they
fair,
get the
and I'm
pussy.
not disagreeing from that. But I'm saying let's not count out that small or not. There is a demographic that is the case where they feel like the key, two locks mingling together don't mean nothing. If another key enters that lock, for example, if a female is with a nigga and the female
Yeah, if
cheats
two
on a
keys
female,
if
then
two
it
s-
don't matter because that's two locks rubbing together.
Yeah.
If a female fucks with another nigga, then it's a problem because she got penetrated by another dick, period. There's a difference.
That's a different conversation though.
I mean, sure, but when it comes down to threesomes, it still can be worked into that because not every threesome is everybody on each other. It's not. I'm sorry. I mean, I've been introduced to the kink world. Like, I think I would know the variations. Like, no, it's not necessarily everybody touching each other. Not everybody has to fuck each other. Not everybody got to penetrate each other. Not everybody got to lick each other. That's not all.
But usually
threesomes
with
are.
a dude and two girls, that's usually how it go. Versus what you gave the example with two dudes and a girl. Sometimes more than two dudes and a girl. That's usually how it go. Them niggas ain't touching each other.
But think about it.
But like, if
But let's talk
for
about
example,
the extenuating circumstance of the outliers that it's two girls, one guy, and that guy likes being penetrated. Then what? That nigga gay, right?
Yeah, for sure.
that
100%.
nigga gay.
I don't care what neither one of y'all talking
That's
about.
not gay.
100%.
Thank you.
It's
and
not
that's
gay,
not
bro.
gay.
100%.
If a nigga's into pegging and getting that kind
Because
of
if you're
treatment from a
willing to
because it's a
get
strap.
that,
It's not a real
nah,
dick with blood flowing through it, right?
I don't care.
But it's gay, and that's that
I'm
whole
dying
thing
on that
where
hill.
the double
That's how I
stigma.
feel.
It sucks because there's so many nuances where it's hard to make it make sense for everybody, to make it work for everybody, because there's always the little variables that make a difference for people's perception.
A woman cannot naturally penetrate a dude. So if you want penetration, what is it that you're attracted to? You're attracted to a fake dick?
You're attached.
So
to an
that means
experience,
you
a
would take a
pleasure
real
center.
dick, like
listen. You're attracted to the feeling
A
that you
pleasure
get
center.
from a what?
But hold on. That you get from your prostate being touched by something and poking it. Like if you're attracted to the female, you're attracted to the woman. You think she is beautiful. You think
Right.
that you want to be with her. But the only way to make you bust a nut this hard is sticking it up there.
Or rubbing on your gooch. Or
Yeah,
some shit.
me
Like,
personally,
cool.
it's not for me. Never done it. Not probably gonna do it. But
You were not about
I'm
to
not
tell me
finna-
a woman could put a strap on, F this nigga with a fake dick, and there's no homosexuality in this nigga.
no,
Get the F out of here.
no.
Period.
I mean, but that's
I'm not.
like
nah.
I said, in the black community alone, that's a level of closed mindedness to where I understand white people are deemed as more free in the sense of humans are humans, and yeah, that can rub black people the wrong way, whether it comes to different situations. However, black people do need to be more open minded with certain things. Let's stop trying to push it in a box because that's
But something, but
One,
but you
vanilla
don't
is-
mind
let's
it when
talk
it's the
about it.
smaller stereotypes
That's
and stuff, or
vanilla
like,
as
oh, that's
fuck.
white people spit when the kid falling out in the store and throwing spit and all of that. Oh, that's white people spit. So there is instances where we do say that, and that's been a part of our culture for decades.
I'm
So
saying
it ain't
that's
just
part of our
sex. That's
culture.
just how we are.
I'm saying
Period.
that's part of our culture in general is that there's always that subset of shit that's white people shit that isn't white people shit. It's human shit. It just sucks because black people keep themselves so suppressed, so stifled, so conditioned to not even explore because it's looked at as extreme or white people shit or off or weird when it's really just human. And unfortunately, white people seem to have the luxury to be able to be human a lot easier than black people and other people. So that's what it comes down to when it comes to psychology, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to all of it. White people are able to be more human than black people are able to be human, period. Our human experiences
agree.
don't get
This is
taken into
100%
regard. All
true.
of that. And that goes into sex too, period. And it sucks because unfortunately, yeah, it causes a lot of stigma. It causes a lot of killing and problems when it comes to disclosure, when it comes to conditioning and preconceived perceptions. And I understand and no shade to anybody who doesn't want to fuck with a certain type of person. Preferences are real and that's to each his own. That's fine. it's hurting people over those preferences. It's feeling like they're a threat over those preferences. Mm-hmm. We spent our entire existence as black people being killed over the threat of our existence and our color. That is the same thing that trans and gay black people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. They're being threatened for their existence, not just being black, but with loving who they want to love, having their preferences, having their interests. And it sucks because, of course, black people don't want to look at it as like, oh, yeah, we taking on that white shit when it comes to other areas, because that's what it is.
Like what?
I mean, hating certain groups, like us being homophobic and transphobic.
Well, some of that isn't us being homophobic, transphobic. He just brought up a perfect example. Didn't even realize it. How when a man can do something for 2 seconds and the rest of his life he'll have that stigma of being gay. Everybody don't want that stigma. That might be in your world. You feel like, no, that's okay, and you'll defend them. But there's 7 billion people in this world, and there's a whole stigma behind that.
But that's
so you're talking about men that would have to live with that for the rest of their lives.
That's what she's trying to say.
But that's my point. It gets down to the root. Before there's that, there's the fact that there is a stigma at all for trying something for 2 seconds.
That's fine, but you're shaming the people who decide like, oh, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to be a part of that because I think that spit is gay. They're saying from that.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they shouldn't be so hateful towards people who are not like them. I'm saying that
you said they're being closed-minded.
No, but they are in the sense of you're not being open-minded to accept that there are people that aren't doing what you want to do. And that's okay. You don't have to hate or dislike them or shun them or kill them or whatever it may be because of lack of disclosure or whatever. That's a little different because that's relationship. That's personal, sure.
Right.
However, when it comes down to it, that's what I mean by white people, us black people doing white people shit. Us condemning, it's not color, it's sexuality. Like how white people felt some type of way about our color. Sometimes black people feel that way about fellow black people who are trans as gay. Period. That's
agree.
The point.
Like, for example, the biggest thing that we take pride in as black people is that we know how to mind our fucking business. But when it comes to being gay or trans, I need to know. I have to know. I can't. It can't be a secret with me. And it's like you can't.
I feel like that's in recent years. I feel like that's mellowed out a little bit. I feel like black people are becoming more accepting.
I know I'm saying, but like I'm talking about in the South, bro. Like growing up in the South, bro.
Well, I can't speak to that.
You had to, because I grew up in what they call the Bible Belt.
Okay.
Meaning, it's every corner you turn there is a church, a Baptist church, and
that's LA.
Yeah, okay, for sure. So and but like in the South, it's even worse, bro. Like I'm talking about, like, bro, no lie, bro. Crystal Springs Road, bro. Church. Another 500 feet, church. Another 500 feet, church. Go 1,000 feet, church. It's 5 churches on the same road. On the same road. So, like, with them, it's like, I need to know if you gay. And if you are gay, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna make sure that you know that you ain't equal to me. And what she's saying...
See, maybe that's a level we didn't deal with as much growing up in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
It's probably a different experience than what
exactly.
It's not as severe, but it still exists.
Like,
no, for sure.
Like, cause now, like, I'd be telling my mom, thinking back at it, even though I was bullied, like, hurt people. So when I would be hurt, to get the attention off of me, I'ma deflect it to somebody else. And I don't even know whether the boy was gay or not, but I would make jokes because he was just a little bit different than us. That he was gay, and it would get the pressure up off of me.
I was
and now that, bro, I'd be thinking about things like that. I'd be like, damn, bro, I was really a shitty person, bro, doing that things. Like, bro, I made that boy's life harder, and he might not even been gay. And even if he was, like, who knows what could have happened to him? Like, what I did to his mental, and I was sitting up there hurting myself. If I would have just conformed with him and said, hey, how you doing today? Right. I could have probably had a lifelong friend right now.
Well, since we're on this topic, let me ask this. Why is it that, like, so we all on this rally of, like, stop shaming gay black men, start rallying around gay black men, but anytime a black man does something that black women don't like, that's the first insult, is that this nigga's gay.
It shouldn't be.
I mean, that's still.
How many times have we heard? Have you seen? Let me ask you this.
I agree.
Have y'all seen Kevin Samuels engage in any homosexual activity with any male?
No, and you're right. That first
how many times has this nigga been called gay this year?
I say Kevin Samuels. He
and it's not used as like, oh, I think he's gay. It's used as an insult. And I'm not even saying this to defend him. I'm just saying
you're correct.
That's the first thing that y'all run to. So you can't. It gotta go both ways. If that's really what y'all on, and people trying to rally around like, oh, don't use gay as an insult, as if like how the baby used it and all of that. That can't be the first. Oh, you going back and forth with a woman. Oh, you gay. Oh, you a fag for this or you a fag for that, just because you don't like something that a black man did. I just say
he's misogynistic, like, to me. But at the same time, I don't even see him as misogynistic because he say the same thing to men and women. I don't understand why y'all keep calling into his show.
I'm gonna correct y'all with the y'all shit because I get what y'all talking black women.
I don't mean y'all. I'm talking about the group. I'm talking about the masses.
I know y'all don't mean me.
I'm just talking about people in general.
Let me clear some shit up real quick because I'm not that, and that is very evident.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, I don't knock you. You good? We having a debate. Healthy. So when it comes down to it, that is a very clear, evident example of ignorance, stigmatic ignorance. If that is a way or a phrase you can put it, that's how I feel it is. Women, black women, feeling some type of threat or some type of way, they're quick to feel like a man is gay if he is in tune with some type of sensitivity, if he's willing to be vulnerable, if he wants to speak on certain things or have certain conversations, he's gay. Or if he's a little more feminine, not even feminine, but just in touch with feminine. Or what if he was raised by only females? That makes a difference too. Right. Sometimes you quick to be gay. That's not right. Black females are dumb as fuck for even doing shit like that. To me, it still boggles my mind. But it shows that I'm not everybody, and not everybody is in tune with intelligence, which is psychology, which is just a general awareness that people are different. Everything's circumstantial. This black man ain't gonna be the same as the next black man. Because this black man may have had a father in his life, or may have had other male healthy figures in his life, while this black man may have been abused by male figures, or not even that, just been raised by women because male figures did not do the women in his life right. Things like that. Those are gonna be two different males in the long run. When they grow up as adults, they're not gonna be. But the
not
same
because
man.
of those reasons you said.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that it very much could be because of those reasons. However, females are quick to count them out because, say, the man who was raised by just females is more feminine, more in tune with emotion, knows how to speak to females more, knows how to communicate. You gay because you're not being hard, because you're not deflecting, because you're not being angry and violent, or ignoring all your true feelings by diving into something that's negative, have negative coping mechanisms. Unfortunately, for a lot of black women, and for what they're looking for, or what the stigma for black men is, it's like they're looking for somebody rugged, somebody that's been through trauma. I mean, I'm just saying face value. For races outside of ours. Looking for somebody who's rugged, who's hard, who's been through things, but they're not factoring in that with that comes lack of communication, lack of vulnerability, lack of being in tune with the emotions, no emotional availability for you in the sense of opening and exposing themselves, which means you can never help them become a better person, nor can you help yourself, nor can they help you, because they can't give you what you're looking for. It all makes a difference. But I feel like I agree with you. It's completely wrong. I hate that black women do that shit, because that's one, weird as fuck. Yeah, it can be funny at face value sometimes here and there, where it's like, oh yeah, that nigga gay. It's easy to say. All words are easy to say, but having the meaning and doing it with certain intent makes a difference. And ultimately, they be quick to be like, oh no, you're gay because you want to say something that is contradictory to what a woman is thinking, or what this particular woman is saying, that you're gay. Like, no, you're being selfish and ignorant and closed-minded because you're not trying to hear a perspective outside of your skewed own perspective that is not correct because it's your own. It's not correct because it was your experience. It's not correct because that's how you feel about men.
And to your point, I'm actually like that. When I see certain men, just because they have their hands like this, or they a little feminine, or talk a certain way, I don't automatically say, oh, he's gay. I go straight to like, well, I don't know if he was raised by a bunch of women and that's how he was, because that's how I was for a long time. It was just me and my mom for a long time, until I had my big cousin that ended up moving upstairs from me, and being around him kind of helped me with, tuning some of that stuff up. But I've heard stuff like why you got your hand like a fag, and it was stuff like that kind of made me like just automatically, okay, like I'm not supposed to do that or this. But if I would have never even had that, I would have just probably kept doing that stuff. It may not have been homosexual at all, but certain people would see just your your movements and be like I think Kanye is a great example. How many people called him gay, but not realizing it was literally just him and his mom his whole entire life. So I'm understanding when it comes to stuff like that personally. But the only thing I was just alluding to was the going far of like the pegging and all of that.
But crazy thing is, Kanye is the one who like kind of made me check myself about my homophobia. He has a interview that he did.
Oh yeah, he got old interviews.
And he was like, he was talking about like how he had a cousin who was gay, and he was like, "Damn, I'm sitting up here making these lyrics and making these things about hating gay people, and I don't hate my cousin. He ain't no different from the person I grew up with.
Right.
He just like people who's different from the people I like. That's it.
But if you love hip hop as much as somebody like Kanye did, there's a lot of homophobia that's automatically rooted in that anyway. So you might not even look at it as like.
Come with it. Like my best friend, if we on like video chat, I don't know if you know about Bigo and stuff, but stuff like Clubhouse Bigo, stuff where you talk to random people, people be quick to say the faggot word or whatever.
Really?
She's quick.
Yeah,
to
these days they bold.
She's not gay. She's not in the LGBTQ per se. However, she's quick to nip that in the bud because what we're not gonna do in her world is throw that F word around when she got me, who is bisexual, and we don't play.
So
that.
she's real protective over the F word.
She is. Personally, me, I listened to Tyler the Creator when he was doing
That's
his
all you
shit,
gotta say, huh?
When he was doing his shit when he was doing his social experiment shit. That's the best way I could put it. Doing his stuff that made waves and to get attention.
And he just said the other day, Odd Future had no chance of making it in 2021.
Oh no!
Oh hell!
It wouldn't have made it. But ultimately, it showed their age. Like Earl Sweatshirt, 15 years old. Tyler the Creator,
I didn't know
16,
he was that young.
17. Yeah, he started rapping at 15. So you little
he was on it.
You was talking about rape situations and y'all referencing serial killers. Me, I was into serial killers. I'm that outlier. So it's like for me, it's perfect. I'm desensitized to that. I've been blessed enough to never have been in a traumatic sexual assault situation or otherwise. But being what I'm into in forensics, serial killers, all that, it's like I am technically very desensitized to that. So it does not bother me on top of not having my own personal situations that I've gone through. However, I don't discredit it being sensitive to other people.
Yeah.
I'm saying all that to say, using the F word, like, throughout his Bastard Goblin album, like, and even one in between, Wolf, he talks about, like, using the word fag. He talks about people being upset about it. He talks about not giving a fuck, still using it, whatever. But ultimately, it's like, this nigga's gay himself. Like, he didn't tell y'all, but this nigga's gay himself. But
is he really?
No, Tyler Creator's gay.
And he's
like that nigga ain't plain gay.
He is bisexual,
he's bisexual.
He's part of the LGBT.
Oh, okay. I thought my bad. I thought he came out as gay. My bad.
I always thought he was trolling. I never. No. Am I missing something?
Yes.
No, Tyler Creator ain't trolling. Like he's bisexual. Like at one point he was dating. Wasn't he dating Jaden Smith?
See, that was a troll.
One of them.
That was a troll.
I thought maybe that was fake. However, I just feel like I know that he has dealt with men. He's opened up about it in his like more newer albums from like 2017.
Yeah, maybe I need to read them lyrics or something.
Like Flower Boy on.
I just don't want y'all putting that label on somebody.
No, I wouldn't. No, I thought he did.
Like
that's why I said I
I'm not
thought.
gonna say gay or bi.
I thought
LGBTQ. I want to say has been confirmed.
Okay, fair
He's
enough.
in that community.
I'm not
his boy. I would think so. His boy is in that.
I'm not a huge Tyler
right
Creator Future fan. I just when I see the news, I see the news. So I don't know that much about him.
Even with Frank Ocean being in our Future and stuff, that's not necessarily just. I understand birds of a feather, they connect. However, that wasn't.
No, I didn't put Tyler as gay because of that. I just thought I said that's Frank business. Like.
Right. Period. So for me, it's like he's used that word. He's joked about like he did this whole type of theme with his albums where he was his own therapist. So he's talking as a therapist, talking back, and they're talking about like using the word faggot. I don't give a fuck. Well, faggot, and this is it. Don't say it no more. I'm gonna do it anyways. But ultimately, it's like years later, and probably even little hints in between that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. That's what
even looking back to our like some of our most classic diss records. How many times did we hear faggot in hip hop?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? That stuff was normal. I think about shit like Hoochie Mama and shit where it's like these are whole sexual assault anthems. Like they really not caring about like the women at all. They're just like, let's get it in, fuck what they they talking about we better fuck, and that's that. And some of it, like, I think it was Hoochie on where it's like I had to stop listening to it as much because it made me a little uncomfortable. Like, damn, I'm into some shit, but like, y'all being real reckless about it. Like, this wouldn't pass today.
Right.
Like, y'all couldn't do this.
Since you shared your Kanye moment, I could share a personal moment. I ain't gonna say his name obviously, but my favorite cousin, that's been my favorite cousin like the last 15 years since I met him. He came out the closet some years ago, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, and this was a moment where I kind of checked myself as not going as hard as I used to, because I couldn't believe at the fact that I was around him for that much time and that close to him the way I was, to where like he was damn near like my brother. This nigga that looked out for me when I didn't have no money, bought me white tees when white tees was cracking. I couldn't afford one. I'm like talking that far back, you know what I'm saying? Like always had me, and I told him all the time like how much I appreciate how much he was there for me at a time where I really didn't have many people in my corner. Some of the roughest times of my life, he's been there for me, and he didn't have times where he randomly picked me up. We go to Magic, all kind of shit. So I done been around him a lot. Like he came out with my 21st birthday. I went clubbing with him. Okay. So that's how close we always been. And for me to never realize it, I ended up having a conversation with him when he finally did come out to me, because he came out like super casual. To where I'm like, wait, run that by me again? What the hell did you just say? So when we had the conversation, the thing it was something that he said that had really hurt me. He told me that because I asked him like, bro, like if you was gay this whole time, why didn't you ever like say anything? Like, because I've had times where I asked him, not thinking he was gay, but I've asked him about like, you know, girlfriend here, girlfriend that. Asked him for relationship advice with girlfriends and shit, and he never mentioned anything about it. And I asked him why he didn't, and his response to me was he didn't know how I was gonna respond to him. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about how scary that is for so many gay people. Sometimes they do like tell somebody they were super close to, and they flip out, fire off, or oh, I hate you, I'm not ever talking to you again, you faggot, like all type of reactions. And like the fact that those thoughts ran through his mind that I might react to him like that made me check myself. Like, damn, because I was, you know, like you said, we used to joke around like that. Like if my best friend called me like, what you want, fag, or what you want, homo, like that's how niggas talk. I know it sounds crazy.
To the masses. No. That's how niggas
talk.
You right, bro.
That was the thing.
That's how niggas talk. So obviously, my cousin being as close to me as he was, I've obviously said that to him as well. Not even knowing, and him being cool and just taking it that whole time. And it's like now, obviously, I'm like, okay, I for sure gotta watch that with him. But it just made me more conscious of it overall. Like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? If the fact, like, just the fact that he even thought in his head that I would respond to him in a nasty way like that, as much love as I have for him. And to this day, like, you know, nothing changed. I told him, like, I love you the same. We still just as close. Literally nothing is different. But, you know, it just trips me out that, like, damn, like, I never knew. As close as we are, if anything, I'm mad. This is the fact that something as personal as that you just didn't tell me.
Yeah,
but
I know
his reasoning for not wanting to tell me was kind of like my moment that you said you had.
Self-preservation for him.
Like, I know folks like who, like you said, are a part of the community, and like they'll tell their parents or whatever, and they won't talk to them. I know one parent who's like, they still talk to him, but like they'll say shit like, oh, so when you gonna bring a wife home, or when you
even though they know his
like, and it's like that's like real insistent. Like, you already know what's going on, and like I feel like for the gay community, it's like for them they just wanna live life like their sexual orientation.
My bad, real quick. Just to add to that, his answer to why he didn't do like a formal PSA coming out, he said he felt like he didn't need to.
Fair enough.
Because
they don't want their sexual identity to be their only identity. Right. Just like with straight people, you don't walk around telling people every day, "I'm straight. Right. I'm straight. I'm straight."
And if you do, I'm gonna question that. Like, you sure? Who you trying to convince?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's black community and homophobia right there.
All right. Well, I mean that went way longer than expected, but it was very healthy
dialogue.
right. We took a show with that, but no, I'm glad y'all opened up with our experiences, because stuff like this is 100% necessary from all our different tracks of life, especially hearing your perspective being in the South, because I know that's like
it's
the absolute
way
worst.
different.
like
Right,
you know what I'm
we don't
saying.
have
Versus
that
us being in
side.
Cali and it's a lot more accepted because that's pretty much the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Almost all of them